Either one, it is currently the 2nd of July 2015. The tropics in the Western Pacific, it would be an understatement to say that it is becoming active because it is just lighting up out here. We have 3 different areas we are continuing to monitor today. Actually, one area way off here towards the east, it is now a low pressure. It is possibly going to become a named storm system, but really this one's being put on the back burner because we have severe tropical storm Chan-Hom and also Egay out here towards the west, just towards the east of the Philippines. That is the Bagasa name. It is going to be called Linfa if it is upgraded to a tropical storm from the Japan Meteorology Agency, which it is expected to do. Meanwhile, Chan-Hom actually absorbing another invest area just towards the southwest of it today, kind of Pac-Manning it up, really sucking it into it like a black hole as it pushes overhead and just allowing this storm system to become stronger. So those are our 3 areas we are continuing to monitor today. First, I want to talk about actually one of the weaker storm systems, the one right off the coast of the Philippines, our tropical depression here, because this is already causing some problems. We all know that during tropical systems, ferry travel is definitely very dangerous, but it's not completely suspended unless signal force warnings are put in place. And what we are seeing actually there around Cebu City, many ferries were delayed or canceled earlier on today due to the foul weather, but just off of Ormoc City, we had one capsize. Approximately 173 people on board, according to official reports. The thing is, though, it does look like, at least at this time, there has been casualties, and quite a lot of casualties. Very limited information I am getting at this time on this, but I am sure if you are watching this in several hours after me making this video update, probably a lot more information. It's really still a developing story. Big thing, though, is that ferry travel in rough weather is dangerous, and it almost feels like at least once a year we get a situation like this in the Philippines. It's absolutely tragic story. Even though we have a tropical depression off the east coast, moisture inflow wrapping in around the western periphery of our storm system really has just been leading to those widespread rain showers and thunderstorms. Now, as far as the official track with this storm, it's drifting off there towards the north. Now, there's a few different scenarios that could happen. It could go west or it could go east. That's why there's such a huge cone of air. I think that eventually it's going to near the east coast of Luzon before getting ripped off towards the east when Chan-Hom passes nearby, and that's going to kind of suck it up like a black hole, or kind of a Fujiwara effect, if you will, when this starts to really interact with that. But it's not going to be until the early part of next week, so this is going to be here for quite some time, and that's the big problem. You can see here with the 72-hour rainfall outlook exactly what I'm talking about here. Our tropical system, it's expected to become tropical storm. That's why I put the TS on this. It is drifting off there towards the northwest, and the bulk of the rain is falling over the Philippine Sea under this. But if you look back here towards the west, we just have that moisture inflow. In some areas of western Visayas could see upwards of 200 to 250 millimeters of total rainfall, and that's just over the next 72 hours. This is really going to continue to linger, and just kind of a river of moisture flowing into this associated with the southwest monsoon continue to impact this area of the Philippines. And we can go ahead through Thursday and the Friday here using the Meteor app, and we have our low pressure area just continuing to linger. It is expected to become a tropical storm, and just continue to feed in that moisture. So even however strong this gets, unless it turns violently towards the west and impacts a very rural area out here in northeastern Luzon, despite whatever the intensity is, though, it's still going to continue to bring that moisture wrapping in around from the west. And I think this is going to be a big problem for not only Visayas, but as it tracks farther towards the north, it will also wrap in that rainfall there over towards Manila and the NCR, and that very well could cause some flooding as well. So this is going to be one of the big scenarios setting up here over the next several days. I know that according to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, they're being very aggressive on this storm system, by the way, and they do expect it to become a rather strong typhoon. You actually can see it at 10 here, and as we go ahead into next week, they have that intensity rack all the way up to 133, gusting to 161 kilometers per hour, and just moving ever so slowly towards the northwest at 4 kilometers per hour. So really, that's what we're seeing right now with this storm system. It's a big rainmaker, expecting it to linger near northeastern Luzon. Very well could come on shore, but the good news, it's going to hit a rural area if it does. But it all depends on how it interacts with our monster we're expecting back here towards the east. And you can see here, even on this, and I'm sure some of you may have already read it, gusting to 261 kilometers per hour. Let's scroll ahead. Look at that. This is according to JTWC. They're expecting it to be gusting upwards of 296. That is a category for a super typhoon here in the forecast by Tuesday of next week. Let's break down the forecast with this one. First, let's actually look at the satellite imagery. What we have going on here, at least today, well, as far as the circulation, it really has absorbed our other invest area, and it was actually a tropical depression for a short while earlier on today. It has just absorbed that up into it. It's provided a lot more moisture. The circulation and the convection, a little bit ragged today, but that's what's expected when you have this interacting with another area of low pressure. We also still have a little bit of vertical wind shear, and actually we can put that up here on the analysis based on the satellite imagery, about 20 to 30 knot shear over top of this. But out ahead of it, it is expected to decrease, so that's going to allow the storm system to really intensify a little bit more. At the very least, if you are here in Guam, I do expect some tropical storm strength wind gusts at the very least. And what I mean by that is winds gusting up to about 120 kilometers per hour. Now, as far as sustained winds, severe tropical storm strength very well likely. We could see some sustained winds if the center of circulation passes near one of these islands. Now, at least that's what is expected according to not only the Japan Meteorological Agency, but also the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. This is showing you JMA's track, and they expect it to pass near Guam as a typhoon, winds of 139, gusting to 194 kilometers per hour. You could change this up and even look at the JTWC track, and they expect it to actually max out just prior to moving over the islands of the Marianas here at 148, gusting to 185 on the 4th of July. It's a big thing to keep in mind, guys. Even though this storm system is pushing over an area that is, well used to typhoons, a lot of people are going to be having outdoor plans here on this Saturday. Big thing I recommend with this is don't take your chances with it. Typhoon watches are in effect as of making this update, and typhoon warnings will likely be affected here as we go ahead into Friday, giving a 24-hour outlook on this storm system. But let's continue to look ahead, and actually let's scroll through Thursday and the Friday here with those winds kicking up here ever so slowly first here on your Friday, but as we go ahead into Saturday, it's really going to start to pile on, and especially through Saturday morning, tropical storm strength winds in my Saturday afternoon into the evening hours. Going to be seeing full-on typhoon strength wind gusts at the very least, but I think we're going to be seeing typhoon strength sustained winds. And what I mean by that, it means winds about 120 kilometers per hour or stronger will be sustained at least over 2 minutes. A big problem with that is going to be tossing anything around. If you have any outdoor plans Saturday night, 4th of July, fireworks are not going to happen, guys. I'm sorry. I'll tell you right now, if you're waiting for the announcement to say that fireworks have been canceled, they will be canceled. There's no doubt in my mind. Look at the size of this storm system. Even if it drifts north or south, a lot of you are going to be impacted at least by heavy rain showers and these damaging winds as well, just even with the outer rain bands. You got to remember, outer rain bands, they very well could carry that threat of some damaging winds within this isolated cells, but also even the threat of tornadoes. You get those vortices really spinning up, especially as these start to move on shore, and those also can become dangerous. So Saturday night into Sunday, still foul, and then eventually tapering off by Sunday afternoon. Let's take a look at the extended range. Big question when we talk about extended ranges is this going to be impacting Japan? Well, right here you're looking at the NCEP. This is the ensemble forecast. Remember when a model is put out, the thing I was just showing you a second ago, it was a forecast model, but it's averaged basically between a bunch of numerical outputs by a supercomputer. This is all those different numerical outputs. So we have our storm system over here, and each one of these lines represents a different run, just showing you a different output. Some of them have it pulling off here towards the north. The consensus is moving right towards Okinawa and the southern Japanese islands, and that's why at this time the GFS is continuing to do that. Also note the GFS is expecting our other storm system to linger over here just towards the east of the Philippines and eventually get absorbed with our storm system Chan-Hom as it does pass off there towards the northeast. So what we're seeing right now is really consensus in the southern Japanese island. Now this is the 0Z UTC outlook from here on the 2nd of July, and what we have is our storm system just towards the south of Okinawa based on the latest model run on Friday afternoon. Now, it has been changing. That's the big thing. This isn't back-to-back model runs where we're seeing the same exact outlook. Actually, at the 18Z run, it showed us with a storm system directly over the island of Okinawa at the same time here, shown here, actually just a little bit farther ahead of it. And then, if we looked back one more run before that, it actually had the storm system making landfall in the Kagoshima. If you actually look at the ECMWF model outlook, shown here, you can see off towards the bottom right of your screen, our storm system kind of of loops up in from the south and approaches the island of Kyushu as well, kind of like what I was telling you what the GFS did a few runs ago. Now, the big thing you want to take away with these different areas and the different model runs is the fact that this is still extended range. We're talking about nearly a week away from now. This would be Thursday morning if this scenario was to unfold. That gives you a lot of time for the forecast to change, guys. And, well, we're talking a week out, and typically most people don't like talking that far out because this is a big extended range forecast. Right now, Guam, you want to be getting ready for this. It could be a very rough storm here on the 4th of July for Guam and Saipan. Meanwhile, back towards the west, our tropical depression Linfa, or tropical storm Linfa expected here on Friday. That's going to continue to bring heavy rainfall. Our hopes go out to the people who were involved with that ferry sinking and the family members associated with that as well. I hope that we do get better news, but at least at this time, the death toll does continue to look grim out of that area. And unfortunately, more rain and more foul weather is in the forecast. So it's not going to be improving anytime soon. That's all I got for now, everybody. Thanks again for watching here at westernpacificweather.com. A lot to talk about today. It's going to be the case for the next several days, next week for that matter. So please stay tuned. Please stay tuned to our Facebook page. If I'm not posting video updates, if you just watch this on YouTube, of course, our Facebook page also has much more updates and the website as well. Stay safe. As always, thanks for watching.